Stevie Nicks' rise to fame was anything but ordinary. From her early days struggling for recognition to becoming the iconic voice of Fleetwood Mac, her journey has been filled with intense passion, heartbreak, and incredible triumph. But behind the fame lies a story of inner turmoil, addiction, personal loss, and the constant battle to stay true to herself. How did the woman known for her ethereal presence and mystical lyrics survive the rock and roll chaos that nearly destroyed her? The pressure of fame and relationships, combined with the haunting loss of friends and the grip of addiction, could have brought her down. But Stevie fought back, and her incredible resilience transformed her into a symbol of strength. Don't miss the untold truth of Stevie Nicks' darker moments and how they helped shape the music we all love today. Early life: Stevie Nicks was born on May 26, 1948, in Phoenix, Arizona. From a young age, music was an integral part of her life. Her father, Jess Nicks, was a corporate executive, and her mother, Barbara, was a homemaker with a deep love for music. Growing up in a family that appreciated the arts, Stevie was exposed to various musical influences early on, including the folk sounds of the 60s, which would later play a significant role in shaping her style. Nicks often found herself surrounded by music, but it wasn't always the easiest environment. She faced the challenges of moving frequently due to her father's job, which caused some instability in her early years. Despite this, music became her constant companion. By the time she was in high school, Stevie had developed a passion for singing and songwriting. At the age of 16, she received her first guitar, a gift from her grandfather, which opened a new world for her. Stevie's love for the instrument deepened as she began to craft her own songs. One of her earliest compositions, "I've Loved and I've Lost," was written when she was just 16, marking the beginning of her songwriting career. This was the start of her journey to becoming the iconic figure we know today. Musical beginnings: Stevie Nicks' musical journey took flight when she moved to California in the late 1960s to attend college. During this time, she became deeply immersed in the vibrant music scene, performing at various small venues and gaining recognition for her unique voice and songwriting abilities. It wasn't long before Stevie met guitarist Lindsey Buckingham, a moment that would change the course of her life forever. In 1970, the duo formed a musical partnership that would evolve into one of the most iconic collaborations in rock history. They formed the group Fritz, together, a local band that was heavily influenced by the folk rock movement. Though the band didn't find widespread success, it was during this time that Stevie and Lindsay's musical connection grew. Stevie's songwriting began to shine, and her distinctive voice became more prominent. In 1973, Stevie and Lindsay were signed to Polydor Records, where they released an album under the name Buckingham Knicks. The album didn't perform well commercially, but it showcased Stevie's poetic lyrics and the harmonizing musical chemistry she shared with Buckingham. Despite the lack of success, the album caught the attention of Mick Fleetwood, the drummer of Fleetwood Mac, who would soon offer them a chance to join the band. This would set the stage for the next chapter of Stevie's career, one that would bring her global fame. Meeting Lindsay: Stevie Nicks met Lindsey Buckingham in 1966 while they were both in high school in San Francisco. However, it wasn't until a few years later, in 1970, that their musical paths would truly cross. Lindsay was performing with a local band, and Stevie, already passionate about music, was pursuing her own singing career. They quickly formed a close musical bond, and their chemistry was undeniable. Their first collaboration was almost accidental. Stevie was performing at a small club when Lindsay attended one of her shows. He was struck by her voice, and after the performance, approached her with the idea of forming a musical partnership. Stevie and Lindsay shared similar musical tastes, and they began writing songs together, blending folk, rock, and blues influences into a unique sound. In 1971, Stevie and Lindsay formed their own band called Fritz, which performed at local venues. Their sound was still developing, but the connection between them was clear. Lindsay's guitar skills and Stevie's soulful vocals complemented each other perfectly. Their personal and musical relationship only deepened during these early years, laying the foundation for what would later become a legendary partnership. The duo's collaboration eventually led them to the formation of Buckingham Knicks, a pivotal step that would eventually catch the attention of Fleetwood Mac's Mick Fleetwood, propelling Stevie and Lindsay into the spotlight. Fleetwood Mac's rise in 1974. Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham's lives took a monumental turn when they were invited to join Fleetwood Mac. Mick Fleetwood, the band's drummer, had heard their album, Buckingham Knicks, and was instantly captivated by their sound. He invited them to join the iconic British, American rock band, and their addition marked a significant shift in the group's musical direction. At first, Fleetwood Mac had been a blues-based band, but Stevie and Lindsay's influence brought a new, more accessible pop-rock sound to the band. Stevie's haunting, mystical voice and Lindsay's guitar skills helped define Fleetwood Mac's new direction. With the release of the album Fleetwood Mac in 1975, the band's sound began to evolve, and Stevie's presence on tracks like Rhiannon and Landslide added a layer of depth and emotion that quickly made her a standout. The band's success skyrocketed with the release of Rumors in 1977, one of the best-selling albums of all time. The album was a blend of personal turmoil, heartbreak, and creative brilliance as Stevie's relationship with Lindsey Buckingham became more strained, mirroring the emotional depth of the songs they wrote together. Hits like Go Your Own Way and Dreams became anthems, and Stevie became an icon, known not only for her unique voice, but also for her ethereal stage presence and distinctive style. Fleetwood Mac's rise to superstardom was now complete, and Stevie Nicks was firmly at the center of it all. Rumors album, the Rumors album, released in 1977, marked the peak of Fleetwood Mac's success and solidified Stevie Nicks as a global rock icon. The album was born out of turmoil within the band. Tensions between Stevie and Lindsey Buckingham, both personally and professionally, were at an all-time high. Their breakup, combined with the struggles of other band members, created a raw, emotional energy that fueled the album's creation. Despite the personal challenges, Rumors became a masterpiece of catharsis, with Stevie contributing some of the most memorable tracks. Her song, Dreams, which became the band's only #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100, was a direct reflection of her relationship with Lindsay. The song's ethereal sound and emotional depth resonated with fans around the world, cementing Stevie's role as a major force in the band's success. Other tracks, like Gold Dust Woman and Rhiannon, showcased Stevie's ability to weave mystery, emotion, and storytelling into her music. Rumors went on to become one of the best-selling albums of all time, with over 40 million copies sold worldwide. It was a commercial and critical success, earning the band numerous accolades and Grammy Awards. The Rumors era also marked Stevie's emergence as a solo artist, with her distinctive style and voice becoming synonymous with the era's rock music scene. Despite the personal heartache that inspired much of the album, Stevie channeled that pain into an unforgettable musical legacy that continues to influence artists today. Solo success as Fleetwood Mac reached unprecedented heights of fame. Stevie Nicks began to feel the pull of her own creative ambitions. By 1981, she had started to carve out her own path, releasing her debut solo album, Belladonna. The album was a bold step in a new direction, allowing Stevie to showcase her distinctive voice and songwriting style outside of the confines of Fleetwood Mac. Belladonna was a massive success, debuting at #1 on the Billboard 200 and becoming a critical and commercial hit. It featured iconic tracks like Edge of 17, inspired by the death of John Lennon, and Stand Back, which became a chart-topping single. The album's success solidified Stevie as a solo artist in her own right, able to command attention beyond her work with Fleetwood Mac. Stevie's unique blend of rock, pop, and mysticism struck a chord with a wide audience, and her solo career continued to thrive throughout the 1980s and 1990s. Albums like The Wild Heart 1983 and Rock a Little 1985 produced further hits, solidifying her place in rock history. In her solo work, Stevie was able to explore more personal and introspective themes, while still maintaining the ethereal and poetic quality that made her voice so captivating. Her success as a solo artist allowed Stevie to grow beyond Fleetwood Mac's shadow, and she continued to tour and release music both as part of the band and as a solo performer, blending the two worlds to create a lasting legacy. Legacy and influence. Stevie Nicks' influence on both music and culture is immeasurable. As a member of Fleetwood Mac and as a solo artist, she reshaped the landscape of rock music with her distinctive voice, poetic lyrics, and mystical stage presence. Her ability to blend emotional depth with musical brilliance made her one of the most iconic female rock stars of all time. Beyond her music, Stevie became a symbol of empowerment and individuality. Her unique style, characterized by flowing shawls, platform boots, and the iconic chiffon scarves, became her trademark. She was not just a rock star. She was a figure of resilience and strength for generations of women who saw themselves reflected in her music and persona. Stevie's influence extended far beyond the 1970s and 1980s. Her music continues to inspire countless artists across genres, from pop to indie and beyond. Even in the modern era, her songs are widely covered, sampled, and celebrated. Songs like Landslide, Rhiannon, and Age of 17 remain staples in music history, representing her timeless appeal. Today, Stevie continues to tour, record, and captivate audiences with her unparalleled talent. Her contributions to music, culture, and fashion have cemented her as one of the greatest and most enduring icons in rock history. Stevie Nicks may have started as a small town girl with big dreams, but she has undoubtedly left a lasting legacy that will inspire generations to come. Addiction struggles. Despite her immense success, Stevie Nicks faced personal battles that threatened to overshadow her career. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, Stevie struggled with substance abuse, particularly cocaine, which became a major part of the rock and roll lifestyle during that era. The pressures of fame, touring, and personal turmoil took a toll on her health and well-being. Nicks' addiction became increasingly evident, and by the mid-1980s, it had begun to affect her performances and personal life. Her relationship with Lindsey Buckingham, already strained from their breakup, was further tested by the chaos of addiction. During this time, she also faced a series of personal tragedies, including the loss of her close friend and fellow musician Tom Petty, which added to the emotional strain she was under. In 1986, Stevie Nicks' health reached a breaking point, and she was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. This diagnosis led her to realize that her physical and mental health were in jeopardy, prompting her to take a step back from her career and seek help. After undergoing treatment, including therapy and rehab, Stevie began the difficult journey of recovery. Her time away from the spotlight allowed Stevie to reflect on her life and come to terms with her past. She emerged stronger, with a renewed sense of purpose and clarity. Her struggle with addiction and her eventual recovery became a key part of her story, showing fans that even the most iconic figures have their battles to fight. Stevie Nicks' resilience in the face of adversity only added to her legacy as a symbol of strength and perseverance in the music industry. If you enjoyed the deep dive into Stevie Nicks' remarkable journey, make sure to hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more exclusive insights.